Welcome to Speed Channel's Winston Cup wrap-up of today's NASCAR race from the California Motor Speedway. I'm John Roberts. Thanks for switching over. Let's get right to the highlights of the Napa 500 this afternoon in California. Of course, the Jack Roush hats were out in force, a tribute to the owner who is improving from his injuries suffered in that airplane crash last week. Green flag racing we go. Ryan Newman was leading from the pole. Kurt Busch second. That battle went back and forth before Kurt Busch actually ended up leading the first lap of the day. On lap number 4, Ken Schrader pulls off and into the pits. He would go behind the wall with a bad vibration. Bobby Labonte pulls into the pits. The water pump belt came off, and Bobby was worried about damaging that engine. Lap number 17, battle for the lead. Michael Waltrip on the outside of Dale Jarrett. Waltrip would take the lead, but on the same lap, the first caution of the day came out as Shauna Robinson spun out all by herself, backed the car into the wall, and she went into the garage after that. Lap number 73, Elliott Sadler cut a left rear tire. Bad luck continued for Elliott as he had to make an unscheduled pit stop. After the first round of stops, Jimmy Johnson led all the way until the second round of stops. Get used to seeing that 48 car out in front. After the second round of stops, Stacey Compton went behind the wall, by the way, on lap number 110. Johnny Andretti did very well to keep his car out of the wall, trying to stay on the lead lap. Did a good piece of driving right there to avoid further damage to the 43. Lap 126, Tony Stewart felt a throttle linkage brake and dives into the pits. He was running 6 at the time. Tough break for Joe Gibbs today. Lap 141, Ricky Craven brought out just the second caution flag of the day as he ended up in the wall. Disappointing break for the Tide Ride. Next lap, 4th stop for the leaders. Dale Jarrett beats Kurt Busch off the pit road for the race lead. Then Matt Kenseth brushes the wall, just the 3rd caution of the day on lap number 156. Next lap pit stop, Sterling Marlin takes no tires, beats Rusty Wallace off the pit lane, but Dave Blaney, not seen here, stayed out and picked up the lead. Battle for 3rd, Rusty Wallace and Sterling Marlin. Marlin brushes the wall, and Rusty Wallace got the position. Sterling got a little bit of scraped up paint on the right side of his car. Now we expected Busch, Marlin, Wallace, and Jarrett to reel in Dave Blaney, but it took a while. Lap 183 when Busch finally passed him for the lead. Lap 191, Jeff Gordon was the fastest car on the track. Pitted under green to remove a wrapper from the grill. He was 5th. Came out 12th, 1 lap down. Caution on lap 193 for Jeremy Mayfield, who stopped on the track. That hurt Gordon, but helped Dave Blaney. Lap 194, more pit stops. Dale Jarrett, another great stop, beats Busch off, and Ricky Rudd, Rusty Wallace, all off the pit road. On the restart, Jeff Gordon was desperate to stay on the lead lap. They go 4 wide, and Kurt Busch took the lead away from Dale Jarrett. Next lap, Jarrett slips through the middle of the pack and passes Kurt Busch for the lead. Looked like it was going to be a battle between those two, the rookie and the sophomore driver and the veteran. 30 laps to go. Busch passes Jarrett for the lead once again. Jimmy Johnson and Ricky Rudd go through for a second. Second right there. Jarrett drops back to 4th. 22 to go. Kurt Busch and Jimmy Johnson doing battle for the lead. Busch was able to hold on to first place, but same lap was when the trouble started. Kevin Harvick, trying to get to pit lane, gets hit hard by Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jr. hit hard into the wall. Folks, it was a serious looking accident as Jr. hit the wall at almost 130 miles per hour. Another look shows just how hard the hit really was. Both Harvick and Jr. were able to get out of their cars. Harvick looked a lot better than Jr. did. Jr. walked over to the ambulance, but he looked very shaken up by this accident. You can understand after seeing how hard he hit. On board Earnhardt, listen. Boy, that was a rough ride right there for Dale Earnhardt Jr. to see the damage to the car. More pit stops. Final round, Busch and Rudd took 2 tires. Jimmy Johnson, no tires. Bill Elliott stayed out and took over the lead. On the restart, Elliott led for a while, but Johnson passed him quickly for the lead. And after that, it was Jimmy Johnson all the way. Concern over fuel, it went out the window with the caution flag, and Jimmy Johnson goes around to take his first victory in 13 Winston Cup races. A happy day for Rick Hendrick and the group, and especially his owner, Jeff Gordon, who ran over to victory lane to congratulate Jimmy Johnson. What a day for that rookie. It didn't take him long to get that first win. Let's go to the Hollywood Hotel and check in with Chris Myers and Jeff Hammond.
Well, Jeff, the California kid, 26-year-old rookie Jimmy Johnson, who came in as the rookie points leader, wasn't thought of as the guy to beat, but in the end survived. How did he do it?
Well, I think that what happened here today was Jimmy Johnson has been putting himself in position to win a race all year long, and today, along with Chad Knaus, his crew chief, they were able to figure out some strategy, which was no tires at the end, keep his car out front, and he got to victory lane.
23-year-old Kurt Busch finishing second, so the young guns, but many talked about Jimmy Johnson landing in the right spot. He was picked for a reason, obviously, with Hendrick Motorsports and co-owner of the vehicle there, Jeff Gordon. There's a mixture that looks like we're going to see some success from in the future.
Definitely so. If you look right now so far, his record this year, it's unbelievable. A rookie coming in Winston Cup racing who really didn't have what you call an outstanding Busch career, and he jumps up in the Winston Cup right now, third, fourth in points all year long, and he gets his first win. I mean, so early. He's just an awesome talent, and it just kind of like speaks really very highly as far as Jimmy being picked by Jeff Gordon as well as Rick Hendrick to be a part of Hendrick Motorsports for the years to come.
And Jeff Gordon's still frustrated. Briefly here, Dale Earnhardt Jr. suffering no broken bones, a taped ankle, in some pain after a late incident with Kevin Harvick, but thankfully he's okay.
Again, we keep talking about NASCAR's safety rules, and it's probably one of the reasons why Dale Jr. was able to walk away today. He took a tremendous hit, but he was able to walk away basically with some bruises and maybe a few cuts. He'll be ready to race next weekend at Richmond, I'm sure.
And the veteran Sterling Marlin adding to his points lead overall. He's playing the game right.
He just keeps plugging away. But one thing Sterling needs to worry about is some of these young guns like Kurt Busch, Jimmy Johnson, who've been very consistent as well as fast, I think are starting to maybe put some pressure on him in a roundabout way, and we still got a long ways to go.
Right, and Kurt Busch jumping from fourth up to second in the points race. For Jeff Hammond, I'm Chris Myers in Fontana, California at the California Speedway.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. We'll have more from Fontana when we come back, including hearing from the winning car owner, Jeff Gordon. Stick around, everyone.
Refreshing taste that comes from beechwood aging makes Budweiser the king of beers.
It's not for sale.
No.
Some things are just too good to let go of. That's why there's Valvoline Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. Max Life conditions use seals to help prevent leaks and helps you hold on to your car for a long, long time.
Don't even think about it.
Valvoline Max Life. And for a simple way to keep your tires looking great, use Eagle One Wet Tire Shine.
This spring, Lowe's is improving home improvement. Introducing Lowe's Hardware Help Desk, where experienced specialists can cut, size, and customize so you can do it all. And at Lowe's, you'll find everything from a 3/4-inch X-bolt to quality decorative hardware. And Lowe's promises low prices every day, guaranteed. Lowe's, improving home improvement.
Just use your Lowe's card and there's zero payments, zero finance charges until January 2003.
Speed Channel brings you unprecedented coverage of the FIA World Rally Championship, where the natural landscape of the Earth provides the race course and Mother Nature provides the atmosphere. The drivers are a breed apart from other world-class drivers. Men like defending world champion Richard Burns, his Scottish rival Colin McRae, four-time world champion Tommy Mäkinen, and Spain's highest-paid athlete Carlos Sainz. Speed Channel and World Rally, no one gets you closer.
All right, we remind everybody that Speed News is coming your way at the top of the hour, but right now let's go to Dr. Dick Berggren, who's standing by with the winning car owner, Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon, well, you didn't win the race as a driver, but you won it as a car owner. Is that okay?
Heck yeah. Man, I tell you, we just couldn't be more thrilled of this entire team and to have Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse on board to take them to victory lane. That's awesome. I tell you what, they've done such an awesome job getting the cars prepared and coming to the racetrack ready to win. And they did it 10 races in the season, so you couldn't be more proud of these guys than that.
But your guys have been working hard, too, and you've been driving well. How frustrating has this season been?
It's been frustrating. We just can't catch a break, you know. I mean, we had moments out there today when we had a top-5 car, and, you know, I mean, just a piece of plastic on the grill ruined it for us. So, yeah, that's just the way it goes. But you got to make your own luck. You know, you got to put yourself in position time and time again. You go to victory lane. And that's what Jimmy and these guys in this Lowe's team been doing. They've been getting top 5s, top 10s. and today they capitalized on a great run.
Give it another shot next week at Richmond.
You better believe we will.
All right, good.
And you better believe that's a promise right there. That's a happy car owner. Let's go now to the guys in the booth, Mike, Larry, and Daryl, for their thoughts on today's race.
It was a race that several drivers could have, should have, or would have won. Larry McReynolds, on that final pit stop, would you have dared to go with gas only?
I don't know if I would. It'd be easy to sit here today after the race and say I would have, but I believe I was with most of the guys that took 2 tires, but you got to tip your hat to Chad Knaus. His first win as a crew chief, decide to gas and go only, get that track position. We talked about that for 500 miles. So important, get your car out front.
See, that's where I think what you don't know won't hurt you. I don't think the crew chief really thought much about it. It was the thing to do to get the lead, and I don't think that Jimmy Johnson has enough experience to argue with him. They did it. They went back out on the racetrack. They played their hand, let everybody else play to it.
This is Jimmy Johnson's home track. He's from El Cajon. Darrell, you won a lot at Nashville. When you got the hometown crowd, maybe that is really an advantage.
Well, I think there is. There's something about your friends knowing they're all here watching you, but they're not working on that race car.
No.
And that's the key today. That thing was bad to the bone. He pulled a really low gear. I could hear it when the car would go by. That's what won him the race. He could beat those cats off the corner. He didn't have to drive in so hard, but he could accelerate forward. And, Larry, you can't beat that.
No, you can't. I mean, that was where he was so strong, is off of turn 2. And, you know, what I like about those last 10 laps, he didn't overdrive his race car. He floated that thing down in there. He picked the throttle up. He knew, even with his little bit of experience, where you beat people here is off the corner.
Yeah, well, Bill Elliott stayed out.
Right.
And didn't come in at all. He came in and had to get a little fuel, and he came back out. So those two cars should have been fairly equal, and Jimmy just drove right around him and went on.
And how about Kurt Busch? He's 23 years old. He led a lot of this race, showed the maturity of a driver twice his age.
Yeah, well, I just go back to the pits again and talk about the crew chief. And as far as I'm concerned, when I look at that 97 car, it's got a 6 on the side of it. Because Jimmy Finney and that whole crew worked so long with Mark Martin. I'm proud of it. I would be very proud if I was Mark, to put those guys together and come that close to winning another race. I give a lot of credit to Mark Martin.
But look at Mark Martin, another top 5 finish for him. So, I mean, both packages, just swapping crew chiefs, they're working.
Well, the young driver needs the experience of the older crew chief to keep him going in the right direction all the time. Keep him calm. Like I said earlier on, you can slow him down, but you can't speed him up.
Remember, Kurt Busch had a 15-second lead in this race at one point. And next Saturday night, we go to one of the most competitive racetracks on the circuit. We can't wait for Richmond.
Under the lights.
All right, no doubt about that, guys. When we come back, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll hear from 10th place finisher Michael Waltrip. Stick around, everyone.
The people at NASCAR want to know, how bad have you got it? Have you named family members after your favorite driver?
Down, Ken Frater, down.
Do you use racing flags to warn others of dangerous situations? Now, be honest. How bad have you got it?
Auto racing has a new home, and its name is Speed Channel. From the ovals of NASCAR to the road courses of Europe, Speed Channel brings the world of auto racing to America like never before. But that's only part of the story. Speed also features two-wheeled motorsports, 200-mile-per-hour wheel-to-wheel duels staged by the top riders in the world. AMA Superbikes, where the best riders in North America go for the national title and seek to climb another step up the racing pyramid. World Superbikes, an international field of riders racing the world's most famous names. Ducati, Honda, Aprilia, and Suzuki battle for a world title among the manufacturers. And the FIM MotoGP, the series that will crown the world champion. The stage is set for the most exciting season in years. Catch it all on Speed Channel. No one gets you closer.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Let's now check in with Matt Yoakum, who is standing by with the 10th place finisher, Michael Waltrip.
We had a strong car early, and unfortunate for us, I was too tight all day long, and we kept adjusting for that. And then one time we had a tire, had a slow leak in it, and I got really loose, and I told him, this is too loose. And that set our progress back. You know, we were getting toward getting it freed up enough to go, and that changed things on us, and we had to tighten up. And then we realized that it was a tire, but then it was too late. So messed up what had a lot of promise today. We really liked our chances early. The car felt great, and we just kind of let it get away from us a little bit. But Slugger has a goal of being the most improved team in the series over last year, and we're working real hard toward that. We want to get in the top 10 in points, and we want to be a consistent contender. And the last 3 weeks, we've outpointed the point leader. That's always good.
And at one point, it seemed like the storyline was going to go back to fuel mileage, fuel mileage, fuel mileage. And again, you were in the catbird seat at one point.
Yeah, we had it worked out. And, you know, you like to be able to take advantage of those situations. Whether they play out or not, you like to be in a position to take advantage of them. Richie Gilmore and all the guys that build our engines build very fuel-efficient engines, so we were on top of that. Slugger gets a lot of gas in the car, all 22 gallons in there, so we were able to hold all we can. So we were sitting there ready to take advantage of it. But hated to see Dale Jr. wreck. That was scary looking. I hope he and Harvick are fine. But we pitted there and just couldn't get the car freed up enough to contend. But pretty good day. Do you know how much I like a cold Diet Coke when I'm done racing?
How much do you like a cold Diet Coke when you're done racing? That's refreshing. Michael Waltrip, a refreshing top 10 finish here in California.
Michael Waltrip is a champion at the old Sponsors Plug. Well, that about wraps up our wrap-up of today's race from Fontana, California. Jimmy Johnson, in just his 13th ever Winston Cup race, gets his first ever Winston Cup win. Congratulations to him and the crew. Now, don't forget, Speed News is coming up next with Dave Despain and Roush Shaheen. I'm going over to Fox Sports Net to do NASCAR Victory Lane. Good night, everyone.